It was a busy Saturday afternoon in the heart of the city. The air was filled with the honking of cars, the chatter of pedestrians, and the rustle of autumn leaves being swept down the streets by the wind. Andrew Carter, a successful but reclusive millionaire, had just stepped out of his sleek black SUV to pick up his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, from her ballet class. Andrew was a man who carried himself with quiet dignity, tailored suits, polished shoes, and an air of someone who had fought his way to the top. But behind that polished exterior was a man who had been broken before. His wife had passed away 3 years ago in a tragic accident, leaving him to raise Lily alone. Since then, every decision he made revolved around her. She was his world, his anchor, and his only reason to keep going. He checked his watch. He was right on time. The plan was simple. Park outside, walk in, get Lily, and head to her favorite ice cream shop. But life has a way of turning ordinary moments into life-changing ones in the blink of an eye. When Andrew walked into the building, the ballet instructor greeted him warmly. But her smile faded when she realized Lily wasn't in the classroom. "Mr. Carter," she said, her voice suddenly tense. "I thought you had already picked her up. She said she saw you outside." Andrew's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" "She ran out of the door about 5 minutes ago. I assumed you were there waiting." A cold wave of panic crashed over him. His mind instantly went to the worst possible scenarios. Without another word, he sprinted out of the building, scanning the street frantically. Lily was nowhere in sight. His chest tightened, his breath came fast, and every sound around him became a blur. He was about to call the police when his eyes locked on something across the street. In the distance, near a busy intersection, he saw a woman kneeling down, holding Lily close. Andrew froze for a split second, relief washing over him. But that relief was quickly replaced by a mix of confusion and dread. Who was this woman? And why was she holding his child so tightly? Andrew's instincts took over. He rushed toward them, his voice booming. "Lily!" The little girl turned, her eyes lighting up, but she didn't run to him. Instead, she held onto the stranger's coat even tighter. Andrew's footsteps slowed. Something in the woman's expression stopped him. It wasn't threatening. It was heartbreaking. When he finally reached them, Andrew knelt down and pulled Lily gently toward him. "Are you okay, sweetheart? You can't just run off like that." Before Lily could answer, the woman looked at him, her eyes glistening with tears. Then, in a voice that trembled, she whispered something that made his entire world tilt off its axis. "She looks exactly like my daughter. The one I lost." Andrew was speechless. The noise of the street seemed to fade into silence. The woman's voice cracked as she continued. "Her name was Emily. She was 6 too. We were crossing the road when a drunk driver—" Her words broke off and she bit her lip, as if forcing herself to stay composed. "When I saw your little girl standing at the corner alone, she looked so much like Emily that my legs just moved on their own. I couldn't let her stand there without someone by her side." Andrew felt a lump rise in his throat. He looked down at Lily, who was clinging to him now, still holding the stranger's hand. "Daddy, she was nice to me," Lily said softly. "She told me to hold her hand so the cars wouldn't hurt me." For a moment, Andrew didn't know what to say. He had been ready to accuse this woman of something unthinkable, but now he was staring at a mother whose grief was still raw, whose heart had reacted purely out of love and instinct. The woman took a deep breath and stepped back, as if preparing for him to be angry. "I'm sorry if I scared you. I couldn't walk away." Andrew studied her face. There was no malice there, only pain and kindness. "No," he said finally, his voice softer. "You didn't scare me. You saved her." He paused. "And maybe you saved me too." They stood there for a moment, strangers bound by an invisible thread. Loss, fear, and a deep understanding of what it means to love someone so much it hurts. Andrew could see how fragile she was, and something inside him shifted. He didn't want this to just end here on the sidewalk. He asked her name. "Claire," she replied quietly. "Claire," Andrew said, "why don't you join us for ice cream? I think maybe we could all use something sweet today." First she hesitated. But then, after glancing at Lily's hopeful smile, she nodded. The three of them walked together, Lily skipping between them, holding both their hands. Over sundaes and cones, Claire told them more about Emily, the way she used to hum when she colored, how she loved rainbows, and how she once declared she would be a ballerina. Lily listened with wide eyes, occasionally chiming in about her own love for dancing. Andrew mostly listened, his heart heavy but strangely lighter at the same time. It wasn't just ice cream they shared that day. It was grief, healing, and a tiny spark of hope. By the time they parted ways, Andrew knew he couldn't just let Claire disappear back into the crowd of the city. They exchanged numbers, promising to meet again. Over the weeks that followed, Claire became part of their lives in small, gentle steps. She attended Lily's recitals, helped Andrew decorate their home for Christmas, and on quiet afternoons, she would sit with Lily, teaching her to paint rainbows the way Emily used to. Andrew often thought about how close he had come to losing Lily that day, and how meeting Claire had reminded him of something he had almost forgotten. The world, even in its darkest moments, still held pockets of grace. Months later, as they stood together watching Lily dance on stage, Claire leaned over and whispered, "You know, I think Emily would have liked her." Andrew smiled, his eyes misting. "I think she would have loved her." That day had started with fear and panic, but it ended with a friendship that healed 3 hearts, one little girl, one grieving mother, and one single father who realized that sometimes, strangers aren't sent to harm us. Sometimes they're sent to save us. So if you ever see someone standing alone at life's busy intersection, maybe be the hand that reaches out. You never know whose life you might save, or how they might end up saving yours. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and share it, so more people can be reminded of the kindness and grace that still exist in the world. This is Everyday Grace Stories, where we believe every act of compassion can change a life.